practicing the opening of the Chopin Fantasie Impromptu Opus 66 from a listening point of view rather than trying to fit one note in after another. If you can understand that it's in cut time, 1 and 2, and that's 1 bar, over to the 1. And if you can hear in each of those 4 sections, those 4 quarters of the bar, the tempo that you're playing your left hand triplets at, da 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 da, compared to the speed you're playing the 4 sixteenths at, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1, then it makes it so much simpler because you're hearing the speed, the length, the importance of each note in the left hand, the length between each note. You're hearing that, so that when you start to say 1 2 3 1 2 3, well, the 1 is from the left hand, it's a rest in the right, but 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1, you hear how much faster that is, and you hear that you're not rushing the 4th finger or the 7th finger. You hear each one because each note matters, and you hear 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 in the right hand. And yes, you can say not very difficult, like you can say not very difficult, so it's left, right, left, right, left, right. Not very difficult, not very difficult, not very difficult. You can say it like that, and you can say it also, come Tommy jump to me, come Tommy jump to me. But that doesn't let you hear the tempo of the left hand compared to the tempo of the right, because each hand has to be phrased and it has to be connected and linked. And when you've got a different tempo in one hand than the other, you really have to listen to the speed that you're playing each of the individual notes of the left hand at, and the speed that you're playing each of the notes of the right hand at. When you can hear those together, you're all set. So when it starts, you hear just one. You hear the tempo of the triplets, which is the slow tempo. You hear 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. You just have to know that the thumbs play together. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Left 5 plays with right 4. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So it's just a matter of hearing the speed of the left-hand notes, hearing the speed of the right-hand notes, being a lot faster, and then putting it together. Then confirm what you're doing, just a check by saying not very difficult, and see if it works. Not very difficult, because you'll hear not very, it's not very, it's not, it's not very difficult. And when you lighten up the left, you'll hear the speed of the right. When you lighten up the right, you'll hear the speed of the left. So then when you put it together, so it's just a matter of listening, and that's the tricky thing. So for me, I'm going to take the metronome and put a tick for each eighth, and then once I get really a whole lot of practice at that speed, then I'm just going to move the metronome up 1 tick and see if I can still hear the together notes and still hear the difference between the tempo of the left hand and the tempo of the right hand. And if I can hear all of that, then I'm probably secure at that tempo, and I'm ready to move the metronome up 1 more tick. Anyway, I hope that gives you a couple of ideas on practicing it. It's a fun one. I'm going to work on it diligently with the metronome now and see if I can get the speed really going. Each finger just has to press its own key, but the hand has to stay relaxed, and both forward, back, and left, right, and the wrist has to be able to move down and up freely because it's so relaxed and limpid, and it has to be able to turn with the rotation of the forearm so that you can move from one key to the next, the transfer of the weight, just like sitting on one end of the teeter-totter and imagining transferring onto the other side of the teeter-totter. And it's going from one key to the next. So 1, 2, 3. It can't be poking. It can't. You get an ugly tone. So if you can have the fingers more flat and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then you'll hear every single short 16th note evenly and come together on the metronome, on the ticks, on the four spots where they're together. The hands are together. I hope that gives you a couple of ideas on practicing it. It's a challenge, but it's a fun one, and then you get that beautiful in the middle, and then it goes back to that tumultuous, vigorous, energetic part again. Anyway, hope that gives you some ideas and some incentive to practice it. Have a good night now. Bye-bye.